Right, thank you, TJ. And beyond companionship, experts say pets can also provide their owners with mental health benefits. To talk to us more about the therapeutic benefits to animal-human bonds and the significance of animal-assisted therapies, we have with us Dr. Ginger Ramirez, board member and co-founder of Communitails. Good morning, Ginger. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning.
All right, so Ginger, first off, can you tell us more about your organization, Communitails, and the concept of animals being used for therapy?
Yeah, so Communitails, we were founded around 2016, and we're a social enterprise. We're a group of human and health service professionals, and our focus really is providing animal-assisted intervention. So animal-assisted intervention is a field. It's a relatively young field, no? And this is where the benefits of the human-animal bond, it's delivered through certain services that have benefits for education, therapy, and just improving general well-being. So we've been visiting different schools, different offices, other organizations, delivering these services to them.
Mm-hmm. And since you're an advocate as well of awareness on mental health policy, suicide prevention, and health access for persons with disabilities, diba? How can pets help with mental health and depression?
Yeah, so these days, because of COVID, actually this is very important, no? Because there's increased isolation. We have reports of increasing rates of depression, anxiety, and in the Philippines, we do have an increased reports of suicide deaths. So mental health is really a very important advocacy during this time of the pandemic. So in Communitails, we hope to address these mental health issues by converting the face-to-face activities that we did before, and providing it through the online platform. So we have developed certain programs that can maximize the benefits of the human-animal bond through this, even while we're not physically together. So a lot of the activities that we have in Communitails is actually highly dependent on close contact. You're highly dependent on hugs and touch and being close to people. So we hope that we're able to deliver that more to people who need it during this time, no?
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I could imagine. And Ginger, as a public health physician, what are the other medical benefits of having pleasant relationships with animals?
Yeah, there are actually a lot of benefits, no? Not just in mental health. We have occupational health. We also have other opportunities for improving service delivery, for example, for patients who are diagnosed with autism, no? So there are actually specific evidence-based that will show us that there is increase. So, for example, patients who are diagnosed with depression and anxiety show an improvement in their symptoms after interventions, going through interventions of animal-assisted activities. No, even patients who have been diagnosed with different conditions such as hypertension and blood pressure. It has been shown that because they're able to play with the pets, they're able to interact with them on a daily basis, then it actually encourages physical activity and encourages them to move around more and play more. No? So this improves our overall well-being, and usually it even gives people a reason to wake up in the morning, no? Because I have to feed their dogs, they have to feed their cats. No? So I think for the pet owners, we don't really have to explain all of these things. But the beauty here is that it's actually backed by science. It's actually backed by evidence. And we hope to increase the awareness of this and expand the services to benefit more people.
Mm-hmm. And Ginger, you mentioned kanina, education. So apart from the benefits of human-animal bond for general wellness therapy, you also look into having these programs for animal-assisted education naman, right? Could you expound on this?
Yeah, so actually, and we don't really have it much here in the Philippines yet, but in other countries, the animals are incorporated in reading programs, for example. So individuals who are diagnosed with reading disabilities, they are placed in a room, for example, with a dog and their teacher, another professional. And because of the comfort that the dog provides, it actually encourages the children, more especially the children, to relax and have this space where they are not judged. No, we humans are and it's a lot easier for us to have challenges in terms of our interactions with each other. But pets, with dogs in particular, we have this sense of security, safety, and unconditional positive regard. So even if you have challenges with reading and learning, being with a dog in that space, actually encourages you to explore more and to find that confidence in you. So education is very important also.
And your group also serves various communities through human-animal partnerships and activities, diba? As you mentioned kanina. How do you go about it? And so far, how did the pandemic affect your operations?
Yeah, so before, as mentioned, we would go to school. No, actually, the last activity that we did right before the pandemic was visited a school near the Taal volcano, and we were able to go there. So, but because of the pandemic, we could not be with them physically because of all of the restrictions. Then we had to convert this to the online platform. So. What we have now, we offer a mindfulness program for people. That is a mental health series of program that encourages mindfulness. So our version of mindfulness, we call it mindfulness, and we incorporate the principles of mindfulness that is backed by science, no? And then incorporating the animals to these services. So, in addition, as you mentioned kanina, we have an advocacy for suicide prevention. So we did release a video of this last month during Suicide Prevention Awareness Month with our partners with Hand and Heart, an organization that works with the deaf community. So we have these, and then we also are working now with school children, and we're releasing a children's book soon that will again incorporate the nice fun components of animals, but teaching them about COVID, teaching them about love and acceptance during these difficult times.
And speaking of the animals, Ginger, could you say that other animals, apart from cats and dogs, could also provide these benefits? How do you approach people not inclined to care for animals in general?
Yeah, so I guess for people who have pets, they know the benefits from their personal experience, no? But when you're talking about animal-assisted interventions, it's actually more specific because we have specific goals and therapeutic. We want to achieve certain therapeutic goals, no? So for animal-assisted intervention, so usually you have dogs and cats, but we also are able to incorporate horses. They have llamas, may mga hamsters, rabbits. Yeah, so of course, obviously, it's not here in the Philippines now.
Yeah, aren't they hard to source?
Yeah, so ayun, so there are a lot. And then in other countries, they actually have activities in farms, so farm sanctuary. So this is why we know the benefits of the human-animal bond. And that's actually links to our general relationship with nature. So when we find ourselves in nature interacting with animals, with plants, we are able to connect with them, and it helps everyone and improves our well-being. So in Communitails, we call this mutual healing. So it benefits both humans and the animals.
Yes. And what kind of training do your therapy animals have? And how many have you trained so far? Also, how does one actually know if their pet is suitable for therapy assistance?
Okay, so there is this notion that we train an animal to be a therapy animal. That's actually not very accurate because when we do animal-assisted interventions, it's not just the animal. The human end of the leash is equally important, or probably even more important, because the human is responsible for managing that relationship. So we do have trainings for the human end, and so that we call them our HATs, human animal team. So we do have trainings for humans, and then teaching them about the principles of animal assisted interventions. But for dogs, usually it's a requirement for them to have basic obedience training. And the other important thing for the dogs is temperament. So we don't really kind of train temperament in the same way that, we humans have a different temperaments then. So for the dogs, that's what we look into primarily, the temperament, and then we train the humans. So we actually have an ongoing training right now. So if people are interested, we love to have them join the course so that we can share more. And to answer your question about like which animals can be therapy animals, then it's also part of the training, because we have to identify the different behaviors also for the dogs, for the cats.
And Ginger, lastly, very quickly before you go, where can we reach you for further information, volunteer work, perhaps partnerships?
Yeah, so you can reach us through our Facebook and Instagram pages. We also have our website. If you want to send us an email, we're at communitailsinc@gmail.com. And yeah, we're happy to hear from you. There are a lot of people interested in volunteering and partnering. And we actually look forward to offering our especially our mindfulness sessions to different organizations.
Right. Always nice talking to a fellow pet lover. Thank you so much for joining us. Ginger, please stay safe.
Thank you very much.